birth has arrived to change the story of Peppa Pig forever. Can you even imagine that? From now on, everything will be different for this little piggy family. Family gathering. It's not just Evie's parents and siblings who are super happy about her birth. Actually, all the relatives must be absolutely thrilled, and the very first thing they'll do is visit Peppa's house to meet her new little sister. So, one of the first episodes to be released after the youngest piglet's birth will probably be all about a family gathering. We'll definitely see Grandpa and Grandma Pig, no doubt about it, but also Uncle Pig and Peppa's cousins, including baby Alexander, who's also a baby like Evie but just a bit older than she is. But since this is such a super special event, there's a chance Aunt Dottie, Mommy Pig's sister, might show up too. Even though she lives in another country, she already knows about her sister's pregnancy and could easily travel back to England to be part of this very special moment. It would be really interesting if, in addition to all these pigs, a few family members we've never seen before also showed up. In this case, we're talking about Daddy Pig's parents, who have never appeared in the show despite the fact that the series has been going on for over 20 years. This would be a fantastic opportunity, and we're hoping the show's writers don't waste it. It's going to be amazing to see all of this happening, right? There are a bunch of things just like this that are only going to happen because of the new addition of the pig family, and today we're talking about all of them. So go ahead and jump on this wave. Another Cinewave is starting now. Sibling playtime. Peppa and Evie are going to be such good friends that they'll be playing together all the time. But there's someone else who's also going to have tons of fun with them. George. Since he absolutely loves playing, there's no way he won't want to join in and play with his new little sister. But of course, it's not all going to be smooth sailing. We all know how Peppa and George have totally different play styles. While Peppa is calmer and loves pretending to be a princess or a doctor, George prefers more rough and tumble play. Basically anything that involves running around with Mr. Dinosaur in hand. Since Evie is still so little, she doesn't really have her own preferences yet. So her older siblings have the perfect opportunity to train her to develop her own interests. Because of that, Peppa and George might end up competing over how they'll play with Evie. In the end, the lack of teamwork between the two will only make the baby girl upset and start crying. And that's when they'll realize that what the little one likes most is everything except family fights. From that moment on, they'll probably take turns with their games and even mix them together. So in the end, Evie will learn how to have fun in both ways. Helping mom and dad. Still, there's no denying that the arrival of a baby mainly changes the lives of those closest to them, the ones who will be spending the most time with the little one. And that's exactly the case for the main characters of the show. It was already kind of tricky for Mommy and Daddy Pig to take care of just 2 kids. Imagine now that they'll have to handle a third, who's way younger and demands much more attention. They definitely won't be able to do it all by themselves, but thankfully they can count on their older kids to help out. Peppa and George, who will definitely be willing to lend a hand. Well, sort of, right? Peppa will absolutely love giving her baby sister a bottle, for example. But will she really be brave enough to help with the more complicated tasks, like changing diapers? We're betting no way. That's kinda gross. George will probably be even more stubborn about it. He's always been the family's youngest, and because of that, he's been spoiled his whole life, at least until Evie was born. Now he's the middle child and won't get as much attention anymore. If on top of that, he has to do boring chores to help the parents, there's a pretty big chance he'll just refuse. But eventually he'll end up accepting his new role and start helping Peppa out, at least with the easier and less boring stuff, like helping dress the baby in cute little outfits. School. Evie is definitely going to meet all of her relatives, that's almost a given. But you'd be wrong to think all the excitement is going to stay within just the pig family, because even Peppa's friends will probably get the chance to meet her new baby sister. And we believe that's going to happen in an episode where Peppa brings her little sister to school, where all the kids will get to play with Evie. We're 100% sure that everyone will fall for the baby's charms. Plus, it's going to be amazing to see Madame Gazelle meet the little girl. There are lots of signs that Peppa's teacher is a vampire and literally the oldest being in the show's universe. So it would be a meeting between the character who's been alive the longest and the one who's been alive the shortest. If you're also super excited to see all these things happen in Peppa Pig, drop a comment down below with #Evie. First words. Another moment involving Evie that's going to shake up the pig family, and honestly all of us too, will happen when the little piglet grows enough to say her very first words. Even though time works in a totally different way in Peppa Pig, it still passes somehow. After all, some characters have already celebrated birthdays and even had episodes completely focused on that. On top of that, baby Alexander is a newborn in his first appearance and later shows up a little older than before. The twins that Mommy Rabbit had are also other examples of babies who grew up. So it's only a matter of time before the youngest of the pigs also goes through this growing up process. And in the meantime, she'll probably say her first word. Normally a baby's first word is either dada or mama, If we had to pick between these, she'd most likely say Mama, mostly because that's the most common, and Mommy Pig will be most present in her life, since Daddy Pig is going to be working harder than ever to support the family. However, the truth is, we think the show will go in a different direction and make Evie's first word be Peppa. After all, Peppa is the main character of the show and will definitely be a great friend to her new little sister. Little liar. Now, one thing we could totally see happening after the little girl says her first words is her developing the not-so-great habit of lying. As she learns to talk, Evie could say anything, but she still won't have learned that we should always tell the truth. Because of that, she's probably going to tell lie after lie just for fun, thinking it's hilarious to trick people, and this will quickly turn into a big problem. All of this could be solved in a single episode, or it might become a recurring joke for the character over the next few episodes. Still, we believe that sooner or later, there will be an episode where Evie learns that lying is wrong and finally stops doing it. Career break. As we've already made pretty clear, the entire pig family is going to be affected by this birth, even Evie's uncles and cousins. But it's undeniable that there's one person who's going to have their life impacted more than anyone else by far. Obviously, we're talking about Mommy Pig. After all, she's the one who had to go through months of pregnancy with her body permanently changed. She's going to be really tired, and recovering from childbirth will take about a few weeks. And as if that weren't enough, Mommy Pig has the most important role in Evie's growth, since she'll need to breastfeed her and give her tons of attention. All of this leads us to one conclusion. During this pretty chaotic phase, Mommy Pig will have to make the decision to stop working for a while. She makes money by writing on the computer. We're not exactly sure what kind of writer Peppa's mom is, but it must be a job that requires a lot of mental effort, something she won't be able to manage if she's always exhausted because of her new little one. The main source of income for the household will probably be Daddy Pig, since he's an engineer, so that won't be too much of a problem. The real issue is that, like we already mentioned, Daddy is going to have to work extra hours to cover all the new baby expenses, and that will be even more necessary if his wife needs to stop working. The cold. Remember when George caught a cold after playing in the rain? Yeah, poor thing really suffered in that episode. The sad part is that this will inevitably also happen to Evie. After all, she's a newborn and doesn't have antibodies yet. At that age, we're super fragile and get sick from pretty much anything, so she'll end up getting sick now and then. And this definitely won't happen off-screen. The Peppa Pig production team takes every possible theme and turns it into an episode, and this time will be no different. So we're probably gonna see a sort of remake of George's cold episode, only this time with Evie in the middle child spot. Will she be as stubborn as her brother was in that story and insist on playing in the rain without proper protection? Or will she catch a cold some other way? As you can tell, we love coming up with theories about your favorite animated shows here on this channel. So how about subscribing so you never miss any of our videos? Big Eater. Remember when we said that Evie has a pretty big chance of becoming a little liar, at least for a while? Well, of course, that's not going to be the only trait the little piglet will have. As she grows up, she'll develop lots of other characteristics too, since her personality will keep evolving more and more. We can't say for sure all the ideas the writers are keeping from us, but one of them is possibly that Evie is going to be quite the big eater. One clue is that she was born on May 20th, which means she's a Taurus, and Taurians are known for being huge food lovers. The funny thing is that anyone born between April 21st and May 20th is a Taurus. So, Evie was born on the very last possible day to be a Taurus. Do you think the team behind Peppa Pig picked that exact date just so we'd notice the coincidence and give her zodiac sign even more attention? Vacation. Having a new baby around is definitely going to cause a lot of stress for the pig family. You can imagine it, right? Crying through the night, changing diapers, and all of that. Everyone is going to get stressed out, but that might actually be the motivation for the whole family at some point to decide to take a vacation in another country. The show has already had more than one storyline with multiple episodes where that happens, like the time they traveled to Italy, and another when they went to the United States. What country do you think will be Evie's first vacation trip? It'd be really cool if it were Paris, for example. We've left 2 more super fun videos right here on your screen. Click on one of them so we can keep having fun together. Thanks, and see you next time.